Everybody, welcome back. In this video, we are going to begin the process of building our login page. So with that said, let's get into it and let's see how we're going to be doing it. So to get started, the first thing that we're going to do is that we are going to go to our lib folder, and inside of our lib folder, we are going to create a new file inside of our pages directory, and this is going to be called our login_page.dart. Once the login page.dart file has been created, we are ready to actually start creating our login page. The first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to import our material package from Flutter. And once that is done, the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'll just add a comment on top of the import just to specify that these are some packages that we're importing. Once that is done, I'm going to create a class which is going to be login page, and this is going to extend a stateful widget. Since data inside of this class is going to be changing, it's going to extend a stateful widget. Then, as Flutter convention is, we are firstly going to create the createState function inside of here. And with this, I'm going to step out of our login page class, and I'm going to create the corresponding state class for our login page, call it _login page state. And then this class is going to extend our state of type, and then that's going to be login page. With this, I'm going to open the definition for this class and implement the build function. And then what I'm going to do is that for our createState function, I am going to return an instance of our login page state. So now that we've defined our login page, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to go to our login page state class, and we're going to be putting most of the functionality inside of here. The first thing that I'm going to do is that I am going to, for the build method, return a scaffold. But the way I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be creating a function which is going to return a widget. So I'm going to call this function which will return a widget build UI. And then inside of this function, I'm going to return our actual scaffold like this. And then for our build method, I'll just return our _build UI function. And then I'm going to do command save. Now that we have this done, the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to define the actual UI components for our login page. And in this video, I think we can focus towards just the initial subset of UI components that our page has. And specifically, I am going to be focusing on implementing this background as well as this title for our chat application. But before we can do that, what I'd like to do is that I'd like to actually now inside of our application implement the logic which will actually move us from our splash page to our login page once the actual application has done initializing. So if we go back to our main.dart file, you're going to see that we had a place where we were defining the navigator key for our material app. And the reason we were getting the error of defining a navigator key was because we had defined a navigator key, but we had never defined the routes that our application has. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to define the routes part, and once we have those routes defined, then our navigator key error should go away. So with that said, the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to import our login page. So I'm going to do /pages/ and then login page.dart. And with this, I'm going to go down, and now I'm going to define the routes section for our actual material app. So the route section takes in a dictionary which has key value pairs, and I'm going to say that we'll have a route that is going to be called /login, and then this route requires a function that defines how this is going to be built. So our function gets passed in a build context, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to use the arrow function, and I'm going to return an instance of our login page like this, add a comma, do a new command save. Now we're going to get an error, and that's because our navigator key wasn't defined. So I'm going to remove the comment for navigator key, and there's just one more thing that we need to add, and that's the initial route. What initial route refers to is the fact that the initial route that's going to be loaded once our material app or our main app spins up. In this case, the initial route that I want is going to be login. So take us instantly to our login page. So with this, I'm going to do command save, and I'll restart our application. And hopefully, as you can see, we are not getting that black screen anymore, and we are now actually moving to our login page. So now with this done, what I'd like to do is that I'd like to end this video here. And in the next video, we'll begin the process of actually building some of the UI components for our application. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.